How's it going? Wooden Spoon SuperCoach here. The shit has well and truly hit the fan this week. Everyone's pretty much making similar trades. Joe Chan, David Fafita, we'll get there. Um, but yeah, there's so many different directions we can go in this week. Mac, I know you've toyed pretty much all week with 5 or 6 different options for all your trades. Have you gotten close to settling on something?
Yeah, I basically first attempt went in there, took out the 3 guys that were a problem. Yes, I'm boosting, and then crunched a bunch of numbers. Was pretty happy with what I came up with, and then spent like all day going over it in my head, wondering if there's different ways. In the end, after spending an hour changing it all around and mixing up who I was getting and who I wasn't, I ended up going back to what I did originally. So, yep, I'm good.
I find that happens a lot. Like your first initial thought is normally the strongest one. It doesn't mean you can't make changes and that you can't come up with better ideas. But for me, at least, I find myself going back to my initial idea a lot of the time.
Yeah, the thing with preseason this year is actually what nailed it for me is because I had people like Hines and Farlongo in my team all preseason, and then the head noise got to me the last week, and I made some changes and they went bad. So that's
Yep.
when I was like, this is preseason level head noise right now with these
Yep.
trades this week. So I'm just going to not listen to it. I'm just going to go back to my original plan, although I did tweak slightly one of my guys, which I'm yeah looking forward to getting to the trades a bit later.
100%. Until then, let's go through the TLT. I'm going to refer to my notes on the side here because I just want to stick to what's relevant and then we can zone in more on the really relevant stuff that everyone's dealing with this week.
Wait up, bro. Wait up. You're not gonna plug the group league and the
Oh
prize
my God,
pool and
yeah.
stuff like that?
I've had a gigantic day. This is not going to be the first error of the
No,
episode.
we're good. Let's get it. So
Oh,
yeah, prize pool, guys, up to if you missed the video on Monday, prize pool's up to $834. Went up by $16.91 this week. A few good punts coming through in the comment section. Project Spartan, Happy Bandit among them, and they're progressing their way up that leaderboard as well. So if you've got tips for this week in your matchups, get them in the comment section. First 5 tips put the bets on in real, and the prize goes up towards the prize pool. So yeah, get involved, folks. Let us know who you think is going to win in the matchups this week, and also keep us posted on your scores and stuff for the week. Obviously, pretty good week for me here. Climbed a bunch of ranks. If you missed the Monday video, Jake had a bit of a stinker, but hey, he's used to having that spoon on his face, so it is what it is.
not in my team though,
um,
so I can handle that. We don't get
yeah.
spoons over at the Seagulls.
Yeah, I heard you saying as well Monday that you know your cash gen's in a really good position, and that's pretty much the textbook cop out that I'm hearing on all the content creators. Like, oh, I'm still happy with my team, and my cash generation is still really good. So that's great. I'll see you in a few weeks when you're still out at 50,000 rank or something,
That's
mate.
it. I'm if I can get to, I want to cut my rank in half in the next few weeks. I think.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
can
go
do it.
pretty aggressive and rogue with my trades in order to do that. So it could work or it could backfire. But I'm at the point now where I'm like, let's just try some stuff. Like I've got
Yeah.
ranks to make up. I need to do something different. But yeah,
Yep. So let us know what where you're at in the rank and stuff like that in the comments, and also yeah, get your tips in for who you think is going to win this week, folks, and keep contributing towards that prize pool. All right, TLT, let's get it.
TLT. I will say sometimes someone will get like a sixth comment in like near before the game. If I'm feeling generous, I'll throw that one on as well. So if there is 5 already, throw it in there. And if I'm in a good mood, maybe I'll let you in.
Nice.
Righto. Cowboys and the Sea Eagles. So changes for the Cowboys. Braden Burns is in for Tuolungi, and Sonny Luke is in for Reed Marnie. For Manly, Takayaho and Nathan Brown are both in. So not the most super coach relevant there. The biggest talking point is probably Sonny Luke and how so many people are going to get trapped by him. Just don't go there. I can see the appeal and I understand the excitement, but long term, it's just not the play. Uh,
Agreed. I
yeah,
thought about it for draft, but instead I went with Oliver Pascoe. So yep,
yes,
snuck him out of the free agents before anyone else gets wind of how good he is. So yeah, look, I don't think anything's too relevant here.
yeah,
But yeah, look, Chester, you probably missed the boat. You're just
yeah.
happy to fade for now. Clifford, too expensive, but geez, he's good. Purdue, don't sell, don't buy.
Yeah.
Drinkwater, Drinkwater, if you're looking for a gun fullback, I think Drinkwater is an option, and I think both Drinky and Turbo in this game are good VC options.
100%. On Chester, I don't mind him as a buy this week. It's probably one of, if not the last week, you can do it. I was this close to doing it, and then I thought, you know what? I need to do different stuff, and Chester's a guy that everyone's already got. I need a pivot. If it suits your team structure, I'm not against it, but I also don't love it. Try and find the next guy, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for this game. I'm keen for it. I feel like this is going to be a 30 to 34 type game.
You tipping your boys?
Of course, 13 plus.
13 plus,
Yeah.
even though he just said it's going to be 30 to 34. Yeah, no, I'm going Cowboys 13 plus. Let's get it.
So, okay, that's my Manly fan coming out. It would be 1 to 12 if we do manage to do it, because we'd probably have to score 50 to beat them 13
Oh, now
plus.
he's sitting on the fence. Can't even back the boys properly. Come on, bro.
I'm going to say 13 plus every week, regardless of who we're
Yeah.
playing.
No, they're losing by 13 to the Cowboys. Let's go.
Nah, no chance.
They won't be able to sweat it up there in North Queensland.
I
So,
think that's seriously a factor, like teams just
Yep.
not being used to the heat up there.
Yep.
So I hear you, but I'm backing my boys.
yeah, all right. Let us know in the comments who you reckon's going to win that one.
Yeah, God. Someone, I think, has already backed the Cowboys to win 13 plus. So
Yeah, nice. Let's go. See, I'm all over it. I'm
Yeah.
all over it. And they're all
the fact
over it,
that
whoever that was.
I have to put the money on for that really stings.
Yeah,
That's all right.
I did that to you last year with the Titans in the comments. Actually, there was the once
Oh.
I tipped Titans to beat Manly in the comments, and you were like, "Oh, all right." And then Titans got up as well. It was so good. It was satisfying, man.
The joy of being a Manly fan.
Yeah.
But we're on the up. I'm not too worried.
Yeah.
For the
Raiders,
Raiders and Storm, Tamale's been dropped because his decision making is weird.
He dropped himself. I saw the comment.
Yeah.
I'm not helping the boys. Give me some games in New South Wales Cup for some confidence. What a
Yeah,
mad
man.
dude.
He's so good,
respect.
but so shit at times. It's bizarre. I was close to starting with him. I'm glad I didn't. So we finally get a look at Timoko coming back in. Some people might be concerned over Sasangi. He's got the same spot. It's fine. He has won that spot well and truly. It's going to take him getting injured for him to get out. Not worried at all. And Seb Chris
Still
goes to the
trade him in.
wing, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. Sasangi, you can still trade him in. He's still
Yeah.
got a good break even. He's probably a season hold. Dual position's amazing. And he's elite. Get him in. If you haven't got him yet for some reason, if you listen to this podcast, then you definitely should, because we've been raving about him for ages. But if you still don't have Sasangi, you can still trade him in. He's still viable.
Yeah. His duel came in so handy for me this week. I probably wouldn't be happy with my trades if I wasn't able to move him up to second row forward. So I'd say he's a damn near must have. I don't know if he's going to be a season keeper. It's as the SC playbook guys were saying, these, so to speak, new kids on the block aren't year-long proven. But until he starts dipping, he's a must-have in my opinion. So
Pass an eye test for me every week. That's for sure.
oh yeah.
Yeah. I
And
probably wouldn't get any of the other Raiders, but
No.
I did consider Hudson Young this week, but the price is just not right and stuff. And there's some other options. We'll get there.
yes,
Farlongo though,
Origin coming up for Hudson as well. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, true. Farlongo, people are trading out Farlongo. I don't understand. The guy's averaging 95 points. Like, what's wrong with
Yeah.
that? Yeah. Anyway,
Even when Melbourne's like doing bad, he's still scoring 60, 70, which is
Yeah.
fine. That's
he
absolutely
scored.
fine.
He's basically averaged 70. It's 3 games in a row that they've lost. Like,
Yeah.
he's a hold.
I
He's a
think
hold.
I think it might be that people's initial plan was to use him as a stepping stone to a more proven fullback over a long period of time. But if you're doing that, that is an extremely luxury trade to be doing, especially this week. But yeah, he's not going to be leaving my team. I am not going to sell him until I absolutely have to, which might be never.
Yeah.
So yeah, for what else have we got happening at the Storm? There's a bit. So
Waitiri, I'd
Yeah.
probably wait on that. That's where you're talking about maybe there's some other CT dub cheapies like coming up at some point or something. And if you missed the boat with somebody like Chester, maybe it's Waitiri, but we probably have to still see another week.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah. Otherwise, the proven guns here like Munster and Hughes, maybe not so much an option until we see something change.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people trade out Stefano this week as well. I'm actually still holding Stefano, but yeah, like he is somebody that's kind of on the watch for me. But surely I'm actually banking again. Like he's a bit of a proven guy. Like he'll have an uptick in production the moment I trade him out. So I may as well just hold him and wait for that.
The Keeney
But yeah,
factor.
yeah, like Kinney, the patience. You got to have some patience with these guys, and that burnt me last year. Actually, jumping off people too early burnt me, and I saw a bunch of people do that with Leilua this year as well. They jumped off too early in the first round or two, and like I held because I thought he was still doing his job well enough, and yeah, it's like been really good. So, bit of patience can pay if these guys aren't like serious problems. So I'd be targeting bigger problems than Stefano, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Speaking of giant problems, Joe Chan, one of the, if not the biggest talking point this week. That's 16 most people ate. If you didn't play him, well done. But it's time for him to go. He's pretty much peaked anyway. I don't think he was going to get too much more expensive than this. If your team is absolutely decimated and you just can't trade him out this week, I just don't think there's a scenario. I think you have to get rid of him this week. I think you have to.
I I mean, I toyed with it because it could go two ways. Like the two opposite extremes are that he's been named, but on game day he gets pulled. He's hooked.
Yeah.
He doesn't even start, and Sean Bloor comes into the team.
Yes.
So holding him is scary. But that's what would be if you rolled a one. On the other side of it, you could hold him, and he could come out there fired up with trying to redeem himself and score another 128 and hit his break even and inject some cash back in and be a pod play because everybody else traded him. But yeah, that would be more like rolling a six. So
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's probably somewhere in between and probably on the lower side. Like I am afraid that he's going to come out, score 50 and lose cash. And for that reason, he's on the block for me.
And I think as well, just with the amount of amazing options we've got to come in this week, I think it's just don't put yourself through that headache. Just get the guy in. We'll get to them as well. While we're on the Storm, we may as well talk about Lasardi. He was initially meant to come back last week. Now, apparently, he's coming back next week. So there's a little bit of concern there. The two main 2RF downgrade trade-ins at the moment are himself and Couchman. I kind of feel better about Couchman at the moment. If Sean Bloor
Mm.
does end up taking over Joe Chan and absolutely killing it, would Bellamy really want to shake something that's working after how the Storm have been performing? Look, it's a bit of a stretch. Lasardi's still an amazing option, but I think I'd be more comfortable going Couchman this week.
Yeah, I'm actually with you, but I don't have the funds, so
Yeah,
it hurts me. But I actually am trading Lasardi, and I am a bit nervous about it. I would for sure rather get the guy that isn't injured. He's still been training strong. He's again keen to get in there and redeem himself because he's let the boys down by not being there the last few weeks. At least that's what he'll be thinking. So yeah, look, I'm with you. I think that Ryan Couchman is the better option. And if I did have the extra funds, I would actually go that way. But yeah, look, Lasardi, I don't love it, but I'm getting him in there because the break even is ridiculous. He just has to come back, get named for 1 week, and hopefully inject some cash back into my cash flow, and I'll move him on after a week or two. So yeah, unless of course he comes out and is a base animal and holds his spot in the team. Like it could go really well,
yeah,
or he may just not get named because he re-injures himself or something. So again, like it's a bit of a risk with these guys that aren't named right now, but I think anyone at the Storm is a risk. The other option that people are talking about is Cooper Clark here,
yeah.
who actually played really well, starting on the edge for the first time, scored well as well. So I can see that, and honestly, I don't have the cash for that either. Because if I did, I'd probably do Cooper Clark over Lasardi, just because I know he's playing, and like he was fired up last week, so he was one of the guys that showed up, and he'll probably earn his minutes in the side. So yeah, like I don't really love any of them. I think Couchman's the best for sure. But otherwise, then I'd go Cooper Clark, and if you don't have the funds, Lasardi is the way, and that's the way I had to go because I was using that trade to facilitate one of my other upgrades. So yeah,
I'm not as excited on Cooper Clark. Obviously, amazing player, big boy, very talented. But I think it's way too likely that in a couple of weeks we see him coming off the bench again.
yeah,
which again isn't the worst thing in the world at his price, but just when we've got these other options that may come in for bigger minute roles, he's a wait and see. He could be a really good option.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't be going him this week though. I think there's
I
just
just think
much safer options.
if you're downgrading to somebody for a couple of weeks of cash injection, then it should be fine. But
Yeah.
like you said, I agree. He probably will go back to the bench, but not for a couple of weeks. So that's why I'm kind of happy to go that way. But I mean, I don't have the funds. But yeah, I could get behind it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I totally understand if people just go for Lasardi instead, because yeah, he's obviously more established. But it makes sense. It makes sense.
I can also just see a world where he comes out and kills it again because we haven't seen him play a shit game at footy. He's been really good every time he's played. So
yeah,
definitely eyes on him.
There's a bit of a vibes pick there for me as well, coming from the Sunshine Coast is where he's from. So
Nice.
I'm kind of into it. Yeah.
Isn't he like 19 or something? And
he's a young fella.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What is happening with genetics in the last few years? There's just so many giants out there, bro.
Yeah. All right, who you tipping, Storm or Raiders?
Oh, surely the Storm have to bring it back, right? But I said this last week.
I'm gonna tip the Raiders.
I am going to tip the Raiders as well, purely because I want Sasungi to score a double.
Sasungi's so good. Yeah.
And they've got the home ground advantage. Not that Storm have to go very far to go to them. They're probably...
Still.
Yeah, let's go Raiders. 13 plus, fuck it.
Nah, it'll be close.
I think just there's a few changes going on at the Storm, and I want to try and remove my bias that Storm are like just gonna get it done because they're Storm. Like, if we're going off the information we've seen the last few weeks, they could get pumped. So I'm going to go with that because I don't hate them anymore. You know, I like the players, but there is a massive rivalry.
Bro. You can say 13 plus. It's fine. You don't need to explain.
I don't hate them as much as I used to. Even Munster, I used to absolutely hate him, but now I think he's hilarious. I love the guy.
He's a legend, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to back the Raiders for a decent win there. Dolphins, Panthers. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Are you scared?
Well, not really. In fact, you might remember last week I was saying, I'm getting Herbie. I don't care. I'm getting him. I nearly did it. At first, I did trade him in, but then I had a bit of a look at some numbers and I was like, wait a sec. This is probably not necessarily the smartest move I can make this week. So it just didn't feel like a good SuperCoach play. So that's why I've actually gone away from Herbie just this week, but he's still a huge target for me. I figure I have a week here where it's going to be tough. I am trading in a Dolphin this week, though. Spoiler alert: it's not Herbie.
It's a good one.
But yeah, so it's a bit of a pod play. I don't think many people will be trading in a Dolphin this week, but we'll get to it, and I'll tell you why in a second. But yeah, like I'm not really scared. Like Penrith have shown that they have chinks in the armor, and if anyone can take advantage of that, hopefully it's Katoa.
Yeah, true. I mean, Dolphins have plenty of strike power. This is actually kind of a tough one to tip because it's a Dolphins home game as well. I will be tipping
up in Darwin,
though.
It's in Darwin, though.
Oh, Darwin.
Yeah.
Even still, the hotter climate argument, the Dolphins will be more used to that, you'd think.
Yeah.
But the Panthers, they're a very, very good team.
Probably going VC, I'm probably going to captain Jenkins.
Yeah, I'll be captaining Cleary. I would probably have an armband on Jenkins if I had him. But yeah, Captain Cleary, I think surely they bounce back. They've got to, right? As for changes, no relevant changes for the Finns. Tungo is in for Casey McLean while he's suspended. Just don't go there. We've seen him touch like 850k before, but then since then it's just been like nothing.
Not even that. Not even that. He'll be out next week when Casey McLean comes back.
Yeah, of course. And even he's inside Brian Toto. Even if he was an option, I'm rambling here. It's not important.
Scroll down a little. There he is, number 12 for the Dolphins, Finifiliaki.
He's a guy that I really want to get in soon as well. He's looked so good.
So this is the reason why I was actually targeting him anyway. And as you said, there's a few good options. And one of my original trade plans was to bring in Alex Twal. And Alex Twal's very popular this week, right? So I'm just going to mention here that Finifiliaki is slightly cheaper, has a very similar break even, is averaging more than Alex Twal. And he is running this week at Blaze Talangi, who just let Preston score 118 super coach points against him last week. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Finifuiaki is my guy this week.
And if Preston can do that after being sort of lackluster for the last few weeks, that's not necessarily a him thing, that's a team thing. But Finn Fuiaki's been killing it all year.
Yep.
So if he can exploit that same hole in the defense, like it could be very, very scary as a non-owner.
Short ball off the hip of Isaiah Katoa, straight at plays to Lungi, Finifuiaki for a try this week as well, I reckon.
And it is worth mentioning his opposite number as well, Luke Garner. He'll be lining up outside of Nathan Cleary. He's 435k with a break even of 34. Just being outside Cleary and being 400k. He's definitely an option. Probably not the best option. I don't think he'll be traded in too much this week, but there's a world where he explodes. Cleary gets him nice short balls, line breaks, tries. I can see why you'd go there. I won't be doing it personally, but I couldn't discourage you from doing it if you were thinking about it, honestly.
Good draft option. Good draft option.
100%. I want to touch on Herbie as well this week. There's a lot of people, yourself included, that don't want to bring him in because he's playing the Panthers. I still think he could do quite well.
It's not because he's playing the Panthers. It's because there's other guys in CT Dub this week that are slightly cheaper that are set to go up in a lot of cash, and they're just a ticket to Herbie. If not, they could be keepers themselves. So we'll get to him. We'll get to him. I was happy to bring him in. I was honestly happy to bring him in.
Yeah.
He's matchup proof.
Yes.
So yeah, look, if you're thinking about it, then do it because he is matchup proof. But yeah, like we'll see. There are some other options in that position this week, which are pretty good for cash generation and also scoring points. So yeah, we'll get there.
Love it.
Dolphins or Panthers. I'm gonna tip my boys and say the Dolphins get it done. But yeah, really close, 1-12.
I would like to pick the Dolphins, but I think I just have to pick the Panthers. I think I have to.
Yeah. It's
we'll go 1-12.
Nice.
Beautiful. Was Titans.
Oh man.
Yeah, God. So, changes. Capewell comes in, pushes Niokora to the bench. Not super relevant. For the Titans, no changes. However, Pascoe, named at 14, doesn't get the start, unfortunately.
That's right.
Yeah.
I bought him in for draft, but we'll see. We'll see. The minutes will probably go up.
Yeah. It would have been nice to have another hooker option, but yeah.
I was considering like a Jackson Ford or something this week, but there's just cheaper options that are probably more promising and aren't losing cash already, like your Alex Twiles or your Finifuiakis. So probably wouldn't go there. And then same thing for like a Tanner Boyd, you would just get Dewey. So yeah, look, probably not targeting any of the Warriors. I mean, there's kind of like a bit of love for RTS. Like he has kind of been underperforming compared to his standard, and he's quite cheap. But and the Warriors look good, so maybe RTS is a potential like option. But I just don't see why you'd be bringing in like a mid-range CT dub. Doesn't make sense. Then
I'd
on
be
the
more
other
likely
side,
to go Dallin, to be honest. I'm not trading in a Warriors center wing, but Dallin, -22 break even on the wing, high upside. They've got a very good draw for the next 3 weeks. I can definitely see a world where you bring him in for 3 weeks, sell him once the Wasps have the bye, and maybe he's your stepping stone up to it's probably a bit late for a Herbie, but up to a gun player.
Yeah.
Probably won't be doing it myself though. Bit scary.
Yeah. Titans, Jaden Campbell, serious option. Like Campbell or Dewey. Like I actually think that Campbell is a better option. Everyone's just sleeping on him because Dewey's played more games so far. But in another 3 weeks, it'll be really obvious that it's Campbell or Dewey as your sort of third string halfback. So yeah, look, I think Campbell, serious option. If you want to go away from the crowd and instead of getting Dewey or something, you should definitely consider Campbell. Otherwise, Kinney, bit of chat about people trading Kinney back in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, shouldn't have traded him out in the first place. Get him back in for sure. Happy with it. He's going to generate more money, and we've seen that he can score over 150. So why can't he do that on another week as well? I think he'll average 80 points at the end of the season. So
yeah, and I think it's going to be either he's like a definition of rocks or diamonds, but the rocks aren't that bad. He's been scoring 50s in a not performing well team. Yeah, I don't mind it at all. And if I didn't have to get rid of Keon this week, he probably would have been coming back in.
Yeah, I think he's a bit of a slower burn version of Farlongo, where like these he could just be like a season hold. Like I'm not going to waste trades there when I've seen what he's capable of and he's making money. So, yeah, get him in or don't sell. Yeah, buy if you don't have him. I think, unless of course you've got bigger fish to fry. But yeah, we'll get to it in the forwards. I don't think there's much happening here, is there?
Yeah, not really. Capewell, Fania Corey, it's about it.
Yeah.
Cooper Bye, I'm hoping that he maintains the increased minutes. He's gone from about 25 to 40-ish last
Hmm.
week. So if he gets 40 again, I'll be happy with that. Not expecting another try, but he is capable of them. Um, I was looking at playing him at a pinch. My start v sit is pretty much decided for me this week with a few guys on the bye.
Hmm.
But yeah, if you had to play him, I wouldn't love it, but he could get you out of a bit of trouble.
Yeah, I actually thought about him as a downgrade option for like a Chan or something. In the end, I needed more money, but also I didn't love it because of the matchup this week. Like he's a young fella going down to New Zealand against those big boys. It's going to be a bit of a welcome to the NRL kid kind of game for him, I think. So could be a tough matchup for sure. I probably wouldn't look at playing him this week, but he is kind of on a bit of a cash bubble, so I could understand him as a downgrade option for sure,
Hmm.
especially as somebody who had him at the start of the year and ended up having to jump off before he made money. I was actually pretty eager to get back on now that he's making money, but it might just not quite work out that way for me. I might end up having to let him go.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like I said in a previous video, pretty much the entire season, I've been saying he's a problem I need to fix. All it takes is a try. So if he was to get another one this week somehow, then all of a sudden we're looking at a negative break even and he'll be traded in on mass next week. So definitely don't have to do it this week. Um, yeah, there's so many better options anyway, so
I'm
don't think I can
gonna
recommend that.
I'm gonna tip the Titans here. I think
Yeah, the
Campbell.
Warriors have been up a little bit, and the
They
Titans
have.
have confidence now. Yeah, I back that.
The Warriors are really good. It's hard to tip against them here at home.
Yeah,
They've just destroyed Melbourne. Like they are good. It's either going to be a very close game where the Titans just win, or they're going to get steamrolled.
yeah,
And I'm gonna tip my boys because Jaden Campbell and Keanu Kinney are very creative, and they'll find some space. They'll make something happen. So yeah, I reckon it's gonna work out. Last time the Titans went down there, I'm pretty sure they came away with the win against a Warriors side that was in the top eight. It was really unsuspected. So
sick. That's good to
they
hear
can
because
do
I'm
it.
playing Feimani this week, so I need him to do good as
Yeah,
well.
I'm not gonna
Something I've
play
just
Fayamani
realized:
this week.
Khan Pereira's first game against the Titans. That'll be good to watch.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah,
Other than that, not a whole lot of relevance here, so we shall
yeah.
move on. God, every time I see Tino's name, I get like a
I
little
still
bit
got
shocked.
I still got Furmore in draft, and I'm actually benching him this week and playing Willison instead. I feel like Furmore just hasn't been doing it for me yet. I'm pretty struggling 2RF, but yeah, Willison. Anyway, we'll get to it.
He is the more exciting pick for sure.
I just
Um,
thought I'd do something different. I'm probably going to win in draft this week again, so
yeah,
might mix it
you
up,
can't
just
put a
mess
foot
with my
wrong
opponents
lately,
a bit.
dude.
I
It is
beat the
not
top
fair.
dog in the draft league. Everyone thought he's except for grand final. He's got this massive Panthers stack in his team, and yeah, I just ended up coming out on top, so that was pretty good. All right, anyway, let's keep going. Nobody cares about draft.
I might have to play it next year.
It's
I've
fun. It's
never done
actually
it
really
before,
fun.
but pretty much everyone who plays it says it's better than Classic, so I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
give it a go. Content wise, though, it doesn't really hit the same.
No. So,
Rabbitohs Dragons. So this is finally, as non-Latrell owners, we get some good news. Dufty comes in. Latrell remains at center. Is that even good news? Because he's been
no,
tunning up there every week.
it
But I'm
doesn't
clutching
matter.
at straws here.
Yeah. He's still so scary to watch, but whatever. Get him in your team, folks. Like, don't do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, I just have a vendetta against him. But yeah, absolutely. If you're upgrading somebody in CT Dub, Mitchell is the guy. If you don't
Yeah.
have him already.
The origin factor is there, but we are still a while away. I just need to.
Yeah.
I feel the need to point it out because I feel like the origin
Yeah.
period is my strong suit. I feel like that's where I
Yeah.
catch
Okay.
up this year.
Nice. Well,
Um,
that actually makes me feel better as well because I'm like, yeah, everyone's getting him, but like I don't have him, and eventually he's going to miss a bunch of games. So
yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Isn't that's going to be very nice, not having to death ride Trell. Hubner takes Fafita's spot, but for me, all eyes are on Tallis Duncan. He's a very potty pick,
Mm,
and we've seen the heights he can get to last year. I
mm,
really wanted to start with him at the beginning of the year until I realized that Souths have like massive edge depth. Now that that edge depth isn't as deep, I really, really like it as an option. And
yeah.
I don't think many people are going to be going there with the Lasardi, the Couchman trades. The 2RF is just such a hot position this week, and I am going to pick him up. I love it.
Yeah, nice. Love that. That's a really good play. I still have Holmes. I'm just going to play the patience card with Holmes, as I have with a lot of the guys this year, and it's been paying off so far. Atkinson, I considered it, but with Hines on the bye, I essentially have to play Atkinson this week or trade him out. So he's on the block. He's done. I gave him a chance. I'm not confident. So, I mean, I was kind of keen to see if he got the dual position and then maybe I'd, have a bit of flexibility there, but no, it's too late. So Atkinson's out for me. Holmes, I'm going to give him a chance still. But
Is it
yeah,
his
look,
last chance?
Holmes is on thin ice,
Yeah.
but we'll see because I don't really want to trade him out because then I actually see the loss of cash. So
Yeah. Yeah, I
um,
feel that.
and then of course he could go on a run. But like if he starts getting selected for Queensland or something like that, and he's not even going to play, then and he's been underperforming, then yep, he's on the block. So we'll see. But I'm actually quite hopeful that he'll pick it up. So yeah, I'm happy to give him another week or two.
Yeah,
Say
okay.
that.
I feel
Yeah.
very validated. Back when we were having the conversation about Holmes being a trade and when everyone was trading him in, I remember saying, like, it doesn't excite me. I don't see it. He's burnt me in the
Mm,
past. He's got a big score in him, but he's got a low score in him. He's
mm,
just not my kind of super coach player. And this is exactly why. Granted, the Dragons haven't been this bad in a long time.
mm.
Um, but yeah, if he hasn't been amazing for me in the past, I can't bring him in when the Dragons can't win a game. So
Trying not to hold it against him that I was considering him or Jenkins, and I got a tip from Tim Williams to select Holmes over Jenkins. That's at least he said that's what he was going to do. And I went with Holmes instead of Jenkins. And then the very next week, I was like, "No, I'm getting Jenkins anyway." So it's not Holmes' fault, but yeah, like that was wrong. So I wish I just got Jenkins the first time. I would have had an extra week of Jenkins, and I probably would never have bought Holmes in at all. But it is what it is. So yeah, I'm hoping that he pays up. He pays me back for the patience and the loyalty. Like, let's go. He is proven. So I'm gonna hold
going
him until he has a
Holmes
run.
over Jenkins, that's like a 400-point swing at this point.
I
Oh,
bought
that.
Jenkins the very next week, so like I
Yeah,
didn't miss
yeah.
out on all of it. But yeah, it was yeah.
Timmy
Anyway,
Williams must be very upset with that decision.
oh,
Um,
he doesn't have Jenkins, I don't think. So I'm winning at this point, and I'm ahead of him in the season rank. So yeah, let's
yeah,
go.
a lot of the content creators aren't doing great. So
Some of them are. Yeah.
yeah, there's a few, but
But he's out there saying he's happy with his team and he's got good cash generation. So
we're just
no, it's a real thing. I'm not
it's
mocking.
such cope.
I'm mocking you, not him.
No. It's so
Like,
fair. It's fair
yeah,
because I'm looking at my team like, what positivity can I pull out of this?
yeah,
But I'm finding something at least.
yeah,
Sedu 2 this week. I don't mind playing him against the Rabbitohs. They've been a bit leaky. I'm forced to do it.
yeah,
If I was, forced to play one of my cheapy center wings, well, it'd be Makasini because he's named on the wing, but Sedu 2 would be up there as well. He
yeah,
just looked so dangerous last week, like tackle busting. He got like a bunch of line breaks, a couple of tries. I think he can do it again against the
yeah.
Rabbitohs. I really do.
I've
Um,
got the R on him at the moment, but I hope that I can VC loop and take it off him and put it on Campbell instead.
yeah, I rate it. I rate it.
Yeah.
I think that's most what we need to go over here. Keon is a sell. We covered him in the last video.
Fafita
Oh my
out.
god, Fafita. Yeah, Fafita out. So I started talking about the replacements, but yeah, Fafita's gone. I'm sure everyone watching this is aware. He's not an immediate trade out though. He's not gonna lose money. It is a fair bit of money to have sitting on your bench, but with the carnage going on this week, if you need to sort out some other stuff first, you can. It's fine. And having that cash on the bench to fund an expensive trade next week could end up being really good for you if someone emerges as a must-have. You can just get them straight in. So, but yeah, he's gone for me this week.
I went Fafita to Finifuiaki. Done.
Yeah, that's a hot trade. That's a really hot trade.
Let's go. And you went to Duncan, and honestly, I think that's just as good.
Yeah, I'm at a point where I need to do stuff that's different, and if it backfires, it backfires. But yeah, it's rocks or diamonds.
I'm trying to do something a little bit different too, because I think most people are going to Twal. So yeah, cool. I'm tipping. Oh man, I'm tipping the Dragons. They got to get a win, don't they? And the Rabbitohs are the one team that will switch off, and they're going to come into this game already switched off because they think they're versing the bottom of the table Dragons. I'm gonna tip the Dragons to get it done. I'm going for the upset.
Yeah, I can't see them going 0-7. Like, when was the last time a team went 0-7? I feel like it's been a while. And look, they looked good in pockets last week. If they can put it together that little bit more, they can take it to the Rabbitohs. And I would love to see the Rabbitohs lose. Yeah, I'm with you.
You with me?
Up the Dragons. Yeah.
We're probably both wrong, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're on the Dragons. Come on, boys, you can do it.
Picking the Rabbitohs here is just so boring.
I won't even be mad if Atkinson pops off because, like, it's fine.
I don't think anyone's got him anymore. And if they do, they're not playing him. Like, no way.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there was no way I was going to play him this week.
On to Tigers and the Broncos. God, the Tigers. I'm loving how well they're doing. I absolutely love it. Changes for them this week. Luai's back in for Jock Madden. I was kind of excited about him last video. And then I thought about it and I was like, I don't think we've ever seen Luai get up past like 650k. I don't know why it would be different now. Obviously, it's a different team. But even in this team, he's hovered around that 500k. He's got the negative break even, so he's going to make a bit of money. I see the appeal. I just don't think it's that smart, to be honest.
Luai?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be getting on somebody coming straight back from injury. Like, hasn't he only played one game? He's not in the cash bubble yet. Like,
2.
I don't understand it. He has played 2?
He has played 2, yeah.
Yeah, still, I don't know. I think Dewey's the main man there.
Yeah.
Like, and he plays very sideways, and I think the Broncos will be all over that. Like, I don't love the trade in, that's for sure. Surely you got bigger fish to fry than to trade Pezzett for Luai or something. Like, come on.
And Luai is like experienced and mature enough of a player to know, like, I shouldn't come in here and disrupt Dewey while he's doing so well. Similar to when he was playing with Cleary, he knows when to kind of take a back foot, when to involve himself. And I think that's probably why we see him not really break those big prices, those like huge, well, he's got a huge score in him, but they're few and far between. Yeah.
He also knows how to score 20. So, yeah. The other exciting one here, Taylor May, welcome back to my draft team. Let's go. I'm so hyped about him. And Macassini to the wing, finally.
Yeah.
This is actually scary as a Broncos fan. Taylor May and Macassini, Tigers back to full strength, essentially. So, yeah, this is huge. Dewey, serious target. Macassini, hold. Taylor May, probably wait and see. I wouldn't trade him in yet. Terrell May, you could, but I'd probably just get Twal because he's a bit cheaper, has the dual, and seems to have the bigger minutes. KPP, definite option. Option instead of like a Twal or a Finifuiaki or something. Fafita to KPP, great move. Instead of Duncan, for example, definitely a good option if you don't have him. Yeah, there's some targets in the Tigers, but you can't have all 5 of them. So, pick a forward, maybe take Dewey. You've got Macassini, maybe you upgrade him to May later or something like that. So, yeah.
For me, KPP is the guy I want in my team the most. Like, he hasn't had a bad score. He's offloading like crazy. He hasn't even had that many attacking stats. If those come, he's going to go nuts. I think his ceiling is insane. 12, nice and safe. He's like averaging 80. But again, if it was me, I want to do something different. Pierce Paul he's not really a pod now. There is a lot of people jumping on him, but I think I'm going to have to look at getting him at some point.
Yeah.
I think he could be a season keeper.
Yeah, you could just go Carrigan to Twal. They're both about the same price, do have the same role, both big minutes, both dual position. Done. Easy peasy. Anyone who's got Carrigan. Yeah. On the Broncos, Willison is, I think, potential cover for Broncos origin players later down the track, same as Ben Tolte. So, I mean, if you have literally zero problems in your team and you're just, oh, Carrigan's my only problem, then, and I want to get him out because he's going to go play Origin anyway, then you could just go for like a Willison, who's clearly next in line for a starting position if anyone in the forwards goes down, or a Tolte, who's probably going to have increased minutes and has been looking really good this year as well. So that's probably what I'll do in a few weeks after once Carrigan does go to State of Origin, but I'm actually just holding Carrigan. Otherwise, Broncos are pretty scary here. There's about 12 injuries. Even Ricky is like apparently on the fence for being able to play in this one. Corey Pakes, they did not get that challenge through, so he's not playing. It is going to be Josh Rogers at 9. So, yeah, look, it's a bit of a scary watch here as a Broncos fan. Also, Arthur's like maybe you could go Arthur's. He's like a semi decent option, but I just don't know. I think there's better players and better buys and probably bigger fires to put out. And trading Arthurs is like a luxury trade if somebody's doing it. But yeah, so this one's gonna be tough. I'm gonna tip the Broncos to get it done, but it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close.
I'm afraid I can't agree. I've got to go with the Tigers. They look so good.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get 1 out of 8 tips this week or something.
It's been a tough year to tip. Very tough year. Something I forgot about with the Tigers. What's his name? Tavana. So many people traded him in last week. He's basically as good as enough at this point.
Injured.
Yeah. But I don't think he's going to make it back in, even when he's healthy again. So I think we wait for another cheap-ish center winger to come along and we can flick to him. Or if you just want to leave him there as enough, you don't have to force that trade. I don't love that because I've already got enough in my team, so I need to sort that out.
I mean, it works for your VC loops. If you've got a cheapy center wing that you're playing on the field every week and you've got enough center wing on the bench, then it does enable you to have a pretty easy VC option like most weeks, and you don't have to sacrifice like a good player in another position. So like I can understand it, but yeah, probably not the most urgent problem if you've got him in there.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. The Duffy dream's over. That 3-round rolling average by the time his cash bubble bursts is not going to be great with him at 14. Might not even see any minutes. Although him being at 14 does make me wonder if Reynolds will actually play. If he was at 18 or 19, I'd think maybe he's just there as cover. But at
Rene's
14...
Rene's going to pass the captain's run fitness test again. Yep.
Yeah, and he's a fragile guy. I hope he's good because, God, the Broncos need him at the moment. But yeah, I'm tipping the Tigers. I have to.
Fair.
Roosters, Knights. Roosters have 0 changes. Over at the Knights, what's his face? Dylan Brown is back in, which pushes Fletcher Sharp to fullback, which gets me so excited, and Fletcher Hunt to the centres. Again, if there wasn't so much carnage this week, I would love to get Fletcher Sharp in. I think we're probably going to see him get a couple of good scores, push that break even back down. Then Ponga comes back, he moves back to center. He'll still be a good option. He's easily my number 1 target at 5'8" coming up.
Yeah, I don't think he's a target for a couple of weeks still. So I'm happy that things are going a bit slow with him so far. Does still look a bit tender on his knee, much like Reece Walsh did last year, and it will take a few weeks for that to sort of settle down a bit more for him so that he can get back into his true form. By then, Pong will be back, he'll be back to his position, and we'll be back to sort of round 1 Knights, where they look like they're both going to score a ton by halftime. So, exciting, but I don't think for a couple of weeks for sure. A lot of people getting on Teddy this week. I kind of get it, but if he comes out and scores 80 again, I think he's still losing money. Like next week, I think is the week to get on Teddy. So it might be a week early. I'm going to have a serious look at him next week potentially. But I'm kind of happy with all the guys I've got in fullback. At the moment, I have rotated Chester down into fullback. So it could be for me like a Valentine Holmes to a Teddy or something and move Chester back up into my CT dub. Yeah, so probably looking next week for Teddy. Otherwise, are you trading in Nwang and Nitawase?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I
I
can understand that.
thought I was doing something really clever and unique until I listened to SC Playbook and the whole panel started talking about him and bringing him in.
Yeah,
But I'm still gonna do it. Greg Marzu got absolutely bodied last week. Can happen again. Um, and we've seen Nwakani Dawasi. He's an absolute freak. Roosters are starting to heap up. Sammy Walker's looking better.
yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm going the other side. I'm getting Dane Gagai with a negative 20 break even, set to make about 70K this week. He is basically a ticket to anyone.
Yeah.
So that is my option instead of Herbie. I've decided to go for Dane Gagai, and then like even if he comes out and scores 50, then maybe next week I just move him straight up to Herbie. I just don't care. Like it's just a bit of a cash grab. And to be honest, the Knights' right side attack has actually looked really good and where they're scoring a lot of their points. Like Gagai and Young are both in the top like 5, 6 CT dubs so far this year. They're both looking really good. They're scoring lots of points out there. So, look, it could actually be a bit of a hold play. But yeah, also potential for Origin and stuff like that. So, not 100% sure yet, but yeah, look, the price is right, the break even is right. So yeah, potentially my ticket to Herbie.
Something I want to touch on with Teddy. He is being traded in a lot this week, but for who? You're not selling Keeney. You're not selling
Pe-
Turbo. You're not selling
People,
Drinkwater.
Farlongo, bro. People are trading out Farlongo for Teddy.
That,
Like a guy that's
yeah.
averaged 95 so far this season for a guy that's averaged like 75 because he's proven. It
Mm,
does kind of make sense, but no, I wouldn't be doing that.
nah,
And
not for me.
again, like Teddy, like I said, Teddy next week will be even cheaper. That's when you buy Teddy because he'll be great cover for any Origin fullbacks that you might have had in your team or something. So yeah, like although most people probably don't have Dylan Edwards. I mean, if you do, then get Teddy for sure to cover it. But yeah, like I just yeah, next week I think is the week.
Yeah. If I can dig up some cash, I can go Ethan Sanders to Tedesco. That'd be juicy.
Yeah, next week.
It's a lot of money though.
Yeah.
In the forwards, only relevance I can see here, Dylan Brown is out. Actually, there is something quite relevant here. Thomas Kant. He is another 2RF option that people are looking at. He's like way down the list of the guys I'd be looking to bring in.
Yeah,
Uh,
don't do it.
yeah, nah. I think that's all we really need to say. I can't
Yeah. Look,
can't support that.
Lucas is out for like 4 to 6 weeks, and if he's going to have this position, the first thing is take this first week to have a look and see what the minutes look like and what the role looks like. If he ends up playing 80 minutes and kicks goals, then everyone trades him in next week. All right. If he plays for 60 odd minutes and scores 60 points, then maybe we can have a look at it when we know what he's doing. But at this point, like I just wouldn't because he could play 40 minutes and not do much.
I completely forgot about him slotting the kicks. That is just
Imagine,
so amazing. But with
imagine if he
Sandon
plays
at 6, I
if
imagine
he
he kicks.
if he plays, yeah, exactly. Sandon's going to still do the kicking, but if he plays 80 minutes and kicks goals, then like I said, everyone will get him next week.
I don't know why that's
But
so funny to me. It's great. I
just
love it.
wait and see. It's a
Yeah.
wait and see. Yeah. Yeah, wouldn't get anybody on the Knights yet except for Gagai or Dom Young. So yeah. I'm gonna. Oh
This is a
gosh.
tough one. This is a really tough one.
Oh yeah.
Roosters are heating up. Knights have been really good. They're a little bit down.
No, I'm gonna tip the Knights. I think
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get 1 out of 8 this week.
Yeah. I think for me, Fletcher Sharp
It,
at fullback is enough for me to pick the Knights.
I'm going with the travel factor. I think that the Roosters actually aren't going to be super fresh from traveling all the way over to Perth and back. Although maybe they're okay because they had the bye before the game. I don't really know. They could be super fresh still, but yeah, I'm gonna the travel factor has tipped me over the edge. They've been
Yeah.
to Perth and back. The Knights, yeah, they'll be good. They'll be good to go. So they're getting Dylan Brown back. They should be great.
Yeah, I'm going to tip the Knights, but what I want to happen is for Nawaka Nitawasi to go crazy and for Fletcher Sharp to score 4, and then we can pick him up for super cheap next week. But hopefully. Maybe
Yeah,
not even
okay.
next week. That might even still be too soon.
I'm hoping Dylan Brown back in the side just ignites that right side of the Knights even more, and Dan Gagai and Dominic Young just go crazy. Yep.
Beautiful. we'll move on to the Eels and the Dogs. Uh, is there anything to talk about with the Eels, really? Probably not.
If you have any in your team, get him out.
Yeah.
Unless unless it's not urgent, like Pezzett, he's not leaking money or anything. You're not playing him, so not really a big problem. Yeah, probably nothing on the Eels.
Yeah. Nah.
On the
Bulldogs,
Dogs?
they're going to be riding a high, and I think the Eels are in a lot of trouble this week. A few people looking at Chuala. His base was pretty good. The security's not great.
No.
Bronson Xerri makes it into the team again. I don't think any of the outside backs are too relevant. They either are underperforming, like Kiraz, Chuala, and Xerri both don't have the best security. Montoya, we're just not going there. Connor Tracer, we're not going there. So pretty much the 1 to 7, I'm not that interested in at all.
Galvin could be a pod play if you want to go away from the pack again instead of like a Dewey or even a Campbell. Maybe you want to get Galvin as your halfback 2 or 3. I know I'm probably going to have 3 gun halves or fullbacks all year. So if you're going for the 3 gun halves, then maybe Galvin is number 3. They look like they've simplified their system and it's working for him. And yeah, look, Kickow and Preston are both viable options as
Yes.
well. I just think there's better options in the second row right now, especially from cash gen point of view. But Jacob Preston could be like a top 3 second row at the end of the season. But with Origin looming and the chances that he might get picked for that, yeah, I probably just wouldn't get him so much. I know he's really popular trading this week, but that's not for me. I'm going Finifuiaki. Or even a Alex Twal or even a Tallis Duncan before I'm getting a Jacob Preston based on, one big score. I'd like to see the Dogs do it back to back.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the trade-ins is entirely about last week's score and nothing else. I think if he had the exact same price, exact same break even, but scored 78 last week, we wouldn't even be talking about him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, look, he's an amazing player, and maybe the Bulldogs have flicked the switch and he's going to start crossing because he does have a lot of try-scoring pedigree. But it's not for me. Not this week.
Yep.
Tallis Duncan's my guy.
Tipping
Pretty
the
much
Dogs to
covers
get
it.
this one done.
Yeah. Dogs by 20. I reckon.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, the Eels, I feel bad for them. I want to see them do well, which is kind of blasphemous to say as a Manly fan, but there was just so much chat about them doing really well or a lot better this year, and then the injuries hit, and it's just, yeah, not
Yeah,
fun.
it's been unfortunate. I'd like to see him pull it around at some point, but I don't think it's this week against the Dogs,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Oh, Leo Thompson debuts.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what he's priced at. It's probably around 500-600K, that ballpark. Probably not an option. He doesn't change price for another couple of weeks anyway, so we will come back to him in a couple of weeks, I think. Sweet. That is all the games. We'll move over to our trades. So I'm flicking Keon, Chan, and Fafita like a lot of people. And I'm bringing in Lasardi. That's probably going to change to Couchman, Tallis Duncan, and Nawakani Dawasi. And I love it. It's nice and different. Lots of upside there. And I need it desperately.
Looks really good. I love it. It's good stuff coming out from you. Chan, Fafita, and Atkinson on the block for me. Finifuiaki is coming in with Lasati and Gagai, as I mentioned. Look, Lasati is one I don't like. I would rather Ryan Couchman or something as well, but it is what it is. So, yeah, both of us using 3 trades this week. You've got 32 left. I'm down to 33, so I'm 1 trade ahead at this point. And, yeah, both of us obviously boosting, leaving us with 2 boosts left for the season. Big trade week, a lot of head noise, and in the end, I'm pretty excited to have Finifuiaki and to get some cash injected in my team from Gagai and Lasardi.
I think not having Fine Fuiaki scares me more than not having Latrell, honestly. He has looked insane. And that might sound ridiculous for me to say, but Fine Fuiaki is just so much better than so many of the second row forward options, whereas Latrell, there's heaps of center wingers doing well. So I feel like the gap between them, it's slightly bigger with Fine Fuiaki. I'm going to have to look at getting him potentially even next week before he gets out of reach because he's rocketing up quickly.
Yeah, well, I hope that he runs over the top Blaze Talangi 3 times this week and makes him less affordable for everybody else.
Yeah, God. That's really scary. How the teams are looking. My bench is a little bit concerning. That Miles Martin enough. Starting to question whether that was the best idea.
It wasn't.
I think it's mainly because of the Tavana factor. Now I've got two nuffs, and
Yeah.
that is scary. Miles Martin's been very handy for me for like moving players around with that duel. So yeah, I'm gonna have to fix Tavana. That's scary having both of them out.
Your front row looks tough compared to mine, but this week, bro, I got Aramaho and Tui Kamanu playing, and like Harrigan's suspended, Tom Flegler. I have to have a look and see how he goes, but he's a bit of a slow burn. So look, having Payne Haas, Jackson Ford, and Antonio Paseka, that looks seriously a lot stronger than mine does in theory. But yeah, I'm pretty interested to see how our front rows kind of compare at the end of the week because look, Ho's been on fire.
Mm.
Stefano needs to kick it up a gear, and yeah, like obviously I don't have a benchy in the front row, but yeah, second row. So what you got?
Flip the
You got
script. You're looking strong as in the second row.
yeah,
Helam Lukey, Fino Fuiaki, Leilua. Yeah,
yeah.
that I don't have any of those guys, and it terrifies me.
Yeah, so Leilua has been so good for me all season so far. So glad I started with him. He's like one of those mid-range guys. I started with one of the guys that was about 400 to start the season, and I was tossing up between him and Lukey. After about 4 weeks, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get Lukey as well. Both those mid-tier guys turned out to be better than all the cheapies in the 2RF, so I've been stoked with them. Obviously, yeah, moved Sasangi up there a few weeks ago with the to get like a to upgrade in CT dub, so that's great. Now I'm sort of wondering if I can upgrade in second row by again potentially moving on like a Holmes or a Gagai to get like a gun second row and move Sasangi back down.
Mm.
So yeah, you can really use that dual position. That's why Sasangi is so valuable. You can use that dual position between the 2RF and CT dub, which are the two kind of cash trade generation positions. You can switch him up as you go throughout the season. So really handy there. But yeah, I mean, I'm a bit jealous that you got Cooper by, and if you do end up with Ryan Couchman instead of Lasardi, I feel like that's actually a better option as well.
Yeah, I definitely will be making that move as soon as we're done here. I'm gonna fix that before I forget.
Yeah.
I think we're about even in the halfback slot. I'd say. Um, Maybe Cleary averages slightly higher, but I think Campbell's ceiling might be a little bit higher. Is that crazy to say?
I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. Yeah, probably because Cleary can go nuts.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the season, if you look at total points scored, I think Jaden Campbell could top it, even though he's been injured for the first few weeks, because Cleary is going to miss some games for Origin and stuff like that.
Yeah. I definitely will be selling him over Origin. There's like no question about it.
Hmm. So
100%.
yeah, look, and that's the one thing I was going to say is both my halves are going to play every game for the rest of the season. So, and that's where I'm hoping that it's a bit of an edge in the long run, because yeah, it's just pretty much my fade Cleary tactic that I mentioned at the start of the season that I'm just going to stick to and see what happens. But
I mean, it's working.
it's sort of working.
Yeah.
Like, him and Trell, I feel like if I just bit the bullet and got Cleary and Trell, then my team could be wild. But
Yeah, God. You might end
yeah.
up taking the prize for yourself.
Nah, nah, nah. If my team falls apart later in the season or something, then next year I'll probably just run like a no bias rule and take even players I hate and like it'll be fine. I don't hate Cleary. I just feel like he's kind of overhyped because yeah, like Hines did more points than him at the end of the season last year.
Yeah,
Like yeah, just because he played more games, like the best ability is availability. So
that's
you
it.
need you guys to score for you every week.
Purdue in 5'8". Yeah, that scares me a lot. I mean, Walker did better than him last week, but that's not going to
Yeah,
happen often.
I think they're kind of like about even at this point. Like everybody's still got Walker, everybody's still got Purdue. Like that, neither of them have done poor enough to get on the block. So yeah, like they're both good. I think Purdue may be edging ahead a little bit, but yeah, pretty stoked with Purdue in there. Still got Pezzett though, so like I do need to fix that. Waiting to see who's going to emerge as the the standout 582. Maybe it is Walker. Maybe I just end up with both of them. I don't
It'll
know.
be Fletcher Sharp for me. I just like not owning him when he's like properly fit and healthy and firing is just so terrifying.
Yeah, actually,
Um,
that's a good shout. I do want to get him probably but in a few weeks. I'm not really in a rush. I got to say,
yeah,
your CT dub looks really strong, especially if Iro wasn't on the bye. Like Herbie, Nwangani Tawase, and Iro, I feel like is better than Jenkins, Gagai, and Holmes. Like, yeah, Holmes has been underwhelming. Gagai's been good, but I've only just brought him in, so I haven't actually reaped any of the benefits yet. And then, yeah, I'm still stuck with Cobbo because I reversed that trade. I didn't get stuck with Tavana and I saved the trade, but I've got Cobbo, so I'm not even confident to play him this week against the Panthers and run it with Macassini instead. So hopefully he maintains his value and doesn't leak any more cash on me. And then maybe it's a Cobbo to a gun second row or to Teddy or something next week. We'll see. But yeah, still need to definitely make some moves in CT Dub. Um, Looking at Herbie for sure.
yeah.
Oh, and
Honestly,
on Aero,
go on.
Mulatalo, they're apparently trying to get him back for like round 10 or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
that makes me feel a lot better about the own because he's been
yeah,
underwhelming. He's barely been staying in my team.
yeah.
So that would be very cool to just
Patience,
keep him.
patience
Yeah,
could pay. Patience could pay again with Aero.
yeah.
Yeah, so I got him in draft, so I'm hoping for that too. Yeah,
I do want to bolster up my center wing a little bit. Honestly, I might be looking at a Tolu Kola at some point.
yep.
He didn't do great last week. He is actually quite rocks or diamonds. He's had a few low scores, but when his attack is just ridiculous. Um, Imagine if Turbo gets picked to play center or whatever at Origin, and we see Kola go to fullback, trade in on mass, because his ceiling is ridiculous.
Mm,
And it's also nice and potty. I need to make some different moves if I'm going to catch these ranks,
yeah.
and I think that's my plan, but I haven't really thought about it too much.
Kind of waiting to see like who makes that jump to be the next standout,
Yeah, it's
CT
hard to
dub
pick.
3 option. Yeah, like it's pretty obvious that you've got like your Jenkins and your Herbies in the kind of top tier, right? And then even Jenkins there is kind of questionable. It's kind of Herbie's in his own tier. And then, you got your Jenkins, you got your Gagai, you got your Dom Youngs, you got your Nwangani Tawases, you got Latrell Mitchell, obviously probably ahead of all of them at the moment.
Yeah.
Um, and then it's like, who's going to be the next tier? Like, where does the next tier really start? Is it like a Rob Toya or is it like a Cola? Or is Tom Chester actually just going to be like CT Dub 3 for everybody all year? Like, I'm not really that sure yet. So I feel like I've got pretty solid guys there with Gagai and Holmes, and they could be in that top echelon if they, get it together, or Holmes in particular gets together. So yeah, not sure yet, but definitely need to get Herbie in my team, and would prefer to keep Holmes and Gagaway, but might have to cut one of them loose in order to get Herbie.
And fullbacks, I can't imagine there's too much variety happening in the fullbacks at the moment. Falongo, keep him. Keeney, keep him, even though I didn't. Turbo's a good option. I'm not as hot on him as I was last week, but I'm happy with it, and he's my guy, so he's going to stay in there.
Yep.
Sanders at flex needs to go ASAP.
Yeah. Yeah. Should get drink water, bro.
Yeah, yeah, I probably will.
Drinky. Nah, I'll probably go Teddy, honestly, because I think Teddy's going to be cheaper, and yeah, he's going to bottom out shortly. And this is about the time of year where the Roosters usually start to get things together, and then they go on another run, uh, leading into finals. So yeah, like my plans at the start of the season was to have Reese Walsh up until Origin, and then get Teddy, and then sort of try to get Reese Walsh back in after Origin, and have Teddy and Walsh for the rest of the season. So I don't see why that has changed really. I'm just waiting for Teddy to hit that bottom dollar next week, and then I'll probably pick him up as the Roosters look to pick things up.
That's such a good point. I completely forgot about Walsh. I was gonna say I don't really want to bring a fullback into them, bring Walsh in, but fullback's probably the position where you can get away with that. It's so high upside. Fullback roulette is always a very important game to play. Um, so yeah, maybe I look at a shorter term play. Maybe I let the draw kind of help me with that, and then get Walsh, although he's got Origin. Yeah, it's a lot to think about. I'll have to I'll have to crunch some spreadsheets for that, I think.
Yeah, look, I'm trying not to make too many trades in positions that you don't want to make trades in because, like you said, like you might make a few trades at fullback throughout the year, right? But also, center wingers are the ones where you're going to get most of your cash gen, and your 2RF position is where you're going to get most of your cash gen. So you need to do most of your trades in those positions, which means we don't have, lots of spare trades for playing halfback roulette or hooker roulette or something. So or even 5/8 roulette. So that's why I've put Purdy there, just leave him all season, like
Yeah.
essentially, because that gives us the option to make trades at fullback and CT dub and 2RF as needed to sort of bank that cash, and team value is getting up there already. So quite looking forward to seeing who I can sort of get into my team once Origin's finished, and yeah, starting to make some plays, I think, towards my end game here in the CT dub. And I've got two gun halves. My fullbacks, yeah, look, don't love that Chester's in there, but like I said, get Teddy in, move Chester up. Stoked.
Yeah, the jewels are just so handy. It
Mm.
it could be, I think, if I was looking at Chester and some other center winger with the same sort of stats or even slightly better stats, just that jewel is so
Mm.
valuable. It's saved me so many times already this year.
Speaking of that, Jill, Fletcher Hunt. Anybody who started the season with Fletcher Hunt, because there was a few people on that train just as like a pod cheapy option to start the season. That's been really valuable. Same duel with the CT dub and fullback, and he's ended up filling in for almost every game. He's proven to be quite a good player. He's scored quite well, and now they've even moved him into the centres because he's just been one of their strongest assets. And I think he's risen in over $100,000. So like maybe he's a bit more of a slow burn version of a Tom Chester, but the job security isn't necessarily there because I'm not sure what's going to happen to him once Ponga comes back.
Mm.
And and Bradman Best. So once they get a couple more stars back, he probably does drop out again. But yeah, Fletcher Hunt's been surprisingly good with that same duel.
Maybe what's his face? Marzu, if he gets run over again a bunch of times this weekend. He's been dropped before. Could happen
Well,
again.
DeCourcy got hooked just like at halftime, so like maybe it was mostly because of the reads coming from the center. Like,
Mm.
try not to be too harsh on
I
Marzu.
actually didn't watch
Yeah,
the game, so I can't
yeah.
criticize him too heavily.
But I do anticipate the kicks from Sam Walker to be right above his head every like at the end of every set. So yeah, Marky Mark is a pretty good play this week, mate.
Oh God, nah, I'm not gonna captain him. That's too much. That's too much. I'm gonna keep it safe with Cleary. I think that pretty much covers it. If you haven't already, leave a tip down in the comment for the weekend, and I'll make sure I put them on. Any wins get added to the prize pool. If we can beat 1691 this week, I would love to see it. Couple
Yep.
of lackluster weeks there. We've made up for it though with a big one. So if you can see your name on the screen, make sure you get down below there. Metamorphosis, I haven't seen you for a while. Chuck a comment down there, bruh. Yeah, best of luck. It's been a crazy week. Hopefully, no more injury carnage, but it's Supercoach, it's rugby league. It's going to happen. So
Yep.
we'll be
Feel
here
free.
to help when it happens.
Yeah. Feel free to tell us what you're doing with your trades and captains and stuff this week as well. I got the VC on Farlongo, captain on Jenkins. I'm hoping Farlongo goes off, and that way I can toggle one of my reserves off. But yeah, folks, let us know how your team's going. Get your tips into the comments. We've been really enjoying the comments coming through, so appreciate that. And yeah, we'll good luck, and we'll see you Monday for the recap.
See you then. Catch ya.